Hey guys, I'm Justin Burkholtz. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today's video is about the physiology of breathing, how it relates to the nervous system, and how a little bit of knowledge about breathing can help you in literally every area of your life. Breath is spirit, breath is life. And when you reconnect to your breath, you reconnect to a huge source of energy and vitality. Again, I'm very excited about this video because this information is simple and easy to understand and also incredibly powerful. Unfortunately, most people don't know this. It's not something that people are teaching or talking about, which absolutely blows my mind because this is something that I believe everyone should know. Before we get to the good stuff, if you're interested in mysticism, history of religion, spiritual practices, or science-based protocols for improving longevity, health, and wellness, and want to support my effort to bring this content in an accessible format to a wide audience for free here on YouTube, please consider supporting me on Patreon or with a one-time donation, and make sure to hit subscribe below. Thank you for your support in making this possible. Links can be found below. Alright guys, let's talk about the physiology of breathing. So in order to understand how breathwork works, you need to know a little bit about the autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system controls functions that need to continue even when we aren't thinking about them. So this would include things like breathing, blood pressure and heart rate, and digestion. We don't have to consciously think about it in order to breathe or digest, or that would occupy literally all of our mental capacity. So our autonomic nervous system kicks in and makes sure that those processes continue. What's interesting is that most of the processes that the autonomic nervous system regulates are not actually even able to be controlled consciously, except for breathing. Sure, we continue to breathe even when we aren't thinking about it, but we all have the ability to focus on our breathing, take control when we want to, and regulate ourselves that way. What most people don't know is that this allows us to actually take control of the entire autonomic nervous system. Think about it like this. You are a car cruising along on cruise control. Your autonomic nervous system will accelerate or decelerate in order to maintain the baseline it has been set to, or in reaction to something in your environment. But when you take conscious control of your breathing, you regain power over the accelerator and the brakes, and you take control over how fast or slow you move. Okay, so it's possible to take control of your autonomic nervous system. So what? What does that mean? Well, the autonomic nervous system is made up of two opposing systems called the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system controls alertness, and the parasympathetic controls calmness. And they are opposing because when one is activated, the other is simultaneously deactivated. So in our car analogy, activating the sympathetic nervous system is like pressing down on the accelerator. And inhaling, like I just did, activates the sympathetic nervous system. This increases heart rate, energy, and alertness, but can also cause anxiety. Activating the parasympathetic nervous system is like letting your foot off of the accelerator, and exhaling activates the parasympathetic nervous system. This will slow down your heart rate and slowly calm you down. So if you're following me so far, you may be asking, what about the brakes? What about those times when you're revved up way too high and your anxiety is crushing you, like a panic attack, and you need to calm yourself down quickly and efficiently? Well, it turns out that there is something like the physiological equivalent of hitting the brakes. This is something that I learned from Dr. Andrew Huberman, creator of the amazing Huberman Lab podcast, which is one of my primary sources for science-based protocols for health and wellness, and is, in my opinion, the single best science-based podcast in the world. So go check that out if you haven't already. Anyways, the equivalent of hitting the brakes is something called the physiological sigh. This is super simple and quick to do, but incredibly powerful. So please, do not dismiss this because it is simple. That is very easy to do. But things don't need to be complex or difficult to be effective. Sometimes our egos try to tell us that they do, but it's just a delusion. So here it is. The physiological sigh involves breathing in deeply through the nose, stopping, and then sneaking in another quick breath at the top before exhaling completely through the mouth. Sort of like this. So it's a long inhale, a quick inhale, and then a long, slow exhale. And you can repeat it a few times if necessary, but even doing that just one time will have a huge impact. So now that we know about the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system, and we've learned about the controls for those systems, namely inhaling, exhaling, and the physiological sigh, we can use that knowledge to put together practices and protocols to improve our performance and well-being. Remember that inhaling raises alertness and exhaling decreases alertness and makes you more calm. This means that any breathwork practice which emphasizes inhaling will increase energy and make you more alert. And it doesn't even have to be a formal practice. Just breathe in for a count of 6 and out for a count of 4 a couple of times. Or breathe in deeply and quickly a few times in succession, just letting the breath fall in between, and now you're more alert. I use this for any situation when I'm not feeling quite as energetic as I want or need to be. Say I'm falling asleep at the wheel, or I'm tired and I have a meeting or a call coming up and I need to be more energetic. And the opposite is also true. So any breathwork practice which emphasizes exhaling will decrease alertness, decrease your heart rate, and make you feel more calm. For instance, a popular breathwork protocol is called the 4-7-8 breath. I learned this from Dr. Andrew Weil, which involves breathing in for a count of 4, holding for a count of 7, and exhaling for a count of 8. Repeat that cycle a few times and you will be much calmer. I use this for times when I'm feeling anxious or my heart is racing and I want to calm myself down. And then there's the physiological sigh. This really is like hitting the brakes and will calm you down very quickly and very powerfully. I've personally used it to stop panic attacks, and I've taught it to others who have also used it for the same purpose. So it is an invaluable tool in my opinion. It's free, it's always available, and it works very quickly. I really wish I had learned about it earlier in my life. Okay, so with that knowledge and these tools, you can effectively match your state to fit any task you need to undertake in real time, which is already incredibly beneficial and potentially life-changing. But you can take it even further, because we all have a baseline autonomic nervous system tone or level. Some people are more on the alert side of the spectrum at baseline, and other people are more towards the calm side. I definitely tend towards the calm side, but my partner, for instance, tends toward the alert side. However, with a daily breathwork practice, we are actually able to shift our baseline. So for my daily practice, I like to do something which emphasizes activation of the sympathetic nervous system to balance me out and increase my alertness and energy level. And over time, that shifts my baseline so that I have more energy and drive. My partner likes to do a practice which does the opposite and emphasizes activation of the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps balance her out, helping her stay calm. This is great for people like her who suffer from the problems that arise from an overactive nervous system, such as anxiety, autoimmune disorders, and fibromyalgia. But it can also help with high blood pressure. One study showed that a short daily breathwork practice resulted in an average reduction in systolic blood pressure of 9 millimeters of mercury. This correlates with about a 35% drop in the risk of stroke and a 25% drop in the risk of heart disease. And it's about the same reduction you would expect to see from engaging in aerobic exercise or from taking blood pressure medication. And it's something that anyone can do regardless of their physical ability. Okay, So in this introduction to breathwork, we've gone over how breathing relates to and manages our autonomic nervous system, some breathwork tools to help us manage our mental state in real time, and some ways that we can use this knowledge to create a daily practice which shifts our nervous system baseline over time. I hope this information is as useful and informative for you as it has been for me. And in the future, I will be posting guided breathwork videos both here on YouTube and for my patrons on Patreon that you can use to guide you through your daily breathwork practice. If you're interested in learning more about the science of breathwork, other forms of daily breathwork practices, how to implement new habits into your life, and how to choose which one is best for you based on your current physical and mental temperament, pick up a copy of the first volume of my March Magic Journal, Contemplations, which covers all of that and more. That link can be found down below. And once again, thank you so much for visiting my channel and supporting my work. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the little notification bell so you don't miss any of the other upcoming content. If you would like to support me on Patreon or with a one-time donation, those links can be found below as well. Thanks again and see you again soon.